Welcome to Live in the Markets with Trader Nick. In this show, Nick will cover the latest market trends, whether they're rising or falling. Stick around to hear about trade ideas, latest news, and much more. Remember that trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Today's stream is made possible by our partners and sponsors. If you're looking for a new broker, trying to get funded, or looking for a trading community to join, consider checking out the links in the description below. By using these links, you'll get access to great products and be supporting the channel.
Welcome to my live streams where I take trades on real accounts, no nonsense, no fake MT4 profits. On my streams, you'll usually see me taking a look at software tools that we use to analyze the markets to try and get the latest market trends that are going on. We study things like the Commitment of Traders report, which shows us what institutional traders are buying and what they're selling. We look at seasonality to try and predict and find opportunities in the market based on historical data. Stay tuned for the second half of the stream where we'll bring in guests from all over the place to add commentary on what's going on in the markets. Before the stream starts, I just wanted to jump in and remind you guys that this month only we're doing our biggest sale of the month. If you've been supporting our content and watching us for a while, then you may have heard things like the Edge Finder mentioned or our VIP group where you can see trades being shared by our team. Well, again, right now we are doing our Black Friday sale and I want to make sure you don't miss the price discounts that are available. 40% off for this month only. All the information will be down below in the description, so make sure to check it out if you have any interest. With that said, now on to the stream. Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I appreciate you being here with me and excited to jump into some more live market analysis. It's always a pleasure jumping on these streams and hanging out with you guys. And I figured we would start with the dollar, talk a little bit about what's going on there. Maybe we'll swing around, take a look at gold, the indices as well. And I'd like to cover what's going on with the euro. Let's get an overall view first. Let's see what's moving today. And we'll see, just using the market heat map, we can get an idea of which things are moving the most. And in terms of the dollar crosses, seem like Australian dollar versus the US dollar is up the most, with the biggest lagger being USDJPY. By the way, check out the crisp 1080p. We got the upgrade. We took advantage of Cyber Monday with our streaming software and we're able to get that 1080p. So we finally got the stream quality that we needed. So you know, just me being cheap to not spend the money for it, but we finally got it for a discount. So there you go. Let's take a look at that AUD. So specifically AUDCHF up tremendously here today. AUDUSD, AUDCAD, AUDJPY, pound down, pound Aussie down, and Euro Aussie down as well. NZD also quite strong today overall, pulling back a little bit here as we speak, but we'll talk about that. I'm currently short Euro NZD, which if you remember from yesterday's stream is going really well. So we'll have to talk a little bit about that, talk about a trade that I'm in myself. And then towards the back half of this stream, I'm going to answer some questions from VIP members within the group. By the way, if you're inside of the Discord channel, ask some questions, okay? We're going to do in the general chat. If you're a part of the VIP group, ask me some questions here, and we'll answer a couple of them in the back half of the stream. It'll be fun. Still in my Euro NZD short. I am, in fact, still in that. So we'll go take a look at my Euro NZD trade that I've got open. I picked this up yesterday on stream, actually, and have since made a little bit of a move here. So I've trailed my stop loss. Again, I picked it up after this rejection from the 61.8% on the 4-hour chart. And what I'm loving here so far with my Euro NZD idea was that we actually were able to break this sort of counter trend to the upside. And this candle right here really solidified. Sellers were in charge of this move. And so what I've done is I've actually trailed that stop loss. So I initially had my stop loss above the highs. That was going to be my point to say, you know, that's where I'm going to take a loss. Fortunately, the market did, in fact, go the direction I was thinking it would. We sold off after hitting resistance. And now what I've done is I've taken that stop loss and trailed it into profit. So congrats to anybody who caught that trade as well. Really nice move on Euro NZD. So I have this trade locked in, meaning like I can't lose any money on this trade. So if price does come swinging all the way back, we'll still make $379, but we're floating about 1,000 right now. My ideal scenario for this trade, though, is that this thing continues to follow the trend, meaning we make a move back down to the previous low, right? So let's talk about it this way. If this thing were to roll over and continue through the lows, what I'd be looking to do is actually trail stops further from here. John requested NZD USD. Midi said also NZD USD. Let's take a look at that. Talk a little bit about the Kiwi for a second. Going off of this again, Euro NZD. I'm clearly bullish on NZD right now. So let's go take a look at another NZD pair. We'll take a look at NZD USD. Pull this one up. And so, wow, look at this, you guys. Price did in fact retest that 61.8. So price came all the way back down, like we talked about yesterday on stream. It tagged that 61.8 level and found buyers. Beautiful. And in my view, you actually even had this thing break this little downtrend. In my view, this looks very bullish, right? And if I look at the hourly chart and we draw fibs, I think this is what you might be talking about when you mentioned the 50% retracement. It's tagging the 50 right now. Honestly, even on an intraday perspective, this thing looks really good on the long side. Now, I just showed you guys that I'm currently long on the NZD by proxy because I'm shorting the euro right now and I'm long NZD, right? So I have that trade open. So I'm already exposed to NZD bullishness. So I'm not going to pick up another trade, though I do like NZD USD on the long side primarily here, and already respecting really well here the 50% retracement, you guys. So we actually broke this downward trend. We retested this area and have been finding buyers so far. I don't hate this one for long. So I think like depends what style of trader you are. Like if you're a swing trader, it's a different thing. If you're a day trader, you know, this is a 15 pip stop loss. That's very reasonable. Looking for possibly a continuation back to the previous swing high, right? So if we're talking about targeting the previous high here for day traders looking at NZD USD, I think this is a pretty reasonable trade idea. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to go do with your trades. Please be very careful out there. I'm just sharing my thoughts. But I like the New Zealand dollar long right now. I've been pretty vocal about that. And I've had several trades recently on NZD pairs that have been going really well. So we'll see if that streak can continue. Hey, Nick, I want to backtest, but is it best to backtest 100 trades or a certain period of time? I want to backtest the 1 hour chart. James, good question. I like to really, before I start placing money on a trading strategy, I like to get at least 1,000 trades behind me, right? So if I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I want to put money on a trading strategy, I want to see not just 1,000 trades of historical examples on that strategy, but maybe just as important or more important is I want to see how that strategy fared in different trading environments. If you have a trend following strategy and it does really well in trending markets and that's all you test, you might not get the full picture compared to if you are trading a trending strategy in a choppy or range-bound market. So think about it this way. If you're going to test a strategy, you need to test it in environments that are good for your strategy and strategies or test your strategy in an environment that's not so great. And if you still come out with pretty good results, then you might have something worth trading. That's my personal opinion about this stuff is like, okay, you want to see your strategy perform in both good market conditions and not so great market conditions. And if you still come out on top, you might have something there. So there you go. And the point is, you know, you're going to have pros and cons with every strategy, but at least you'll know that, you know, you've tested it where things are not, you know, just guaranteed to go well. Anybody can, you know, moving average strategies work brilliantly when the market is just trending perfectly. They don't work so great though when the market's just going sideways or back and forth, you know, so think about it that way. I do like this trade. And like I said, I've already got my NZD exposure on Euro NZD, which we took yesterday on stream. It was a 4-hour chart trade and still in it. That trade alert was sent inside of the Discord channel. And let's see. Next trades. I shared the update here this morning. So I just trailed the stop loss. We're in profit. Good spot to be in. We're floating at one point this morning, 168 pips and locked in at least 57 pips, which is great. Okay, Looks like we're not having Tom join us today, which is unfortunate. I guess we'll have to catch him next week. Okay, so yeah, let's see. What else? I want to see, in terms of market heat map stuff, we did talk about the AUDUSD as a big one today. So let's go see what the Aussie pairs are doing. AUDUSD on the daily chart. Yeah, a bit of a rebound here. Look at that Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Still looking pretty strong off the daily chart. You've got that nice upward trend. AUD-CHF was, I think, the best performing one today. Look at that, you guys. AUD-CHF right now nailed support and jumped to the top of this range. And pretty cool because it came right on up to the top of this range. And here's the thing, even though this thing is moving with so much strength to the upside, I'd be very cautious here because even though, yes, the Aussie dollar got really strong compared to the Swiss franc, we're still in a range bound market. And this is what I'm talking about. If you try and chase this thing to the long side, you very well may just get caught up in supply. And then this thing starts trending back the other direction, right? So context is really key here. What do things look like on the higher time frames? So if you're only looking at, check this out, this could be misleading you guys and probably a good tip for some new traders. If you're looking at the 15-minute chart and this is all you see, you might say, wow, this thing is looking really, really strong. I want to buy it. But then if you zoom out, take a look at the 4-hour chart and you see this, you have to start wondering, well, is it possible that we're just going to start ranging back here and head back into consolidation? And my opinion would be I'd stick away from this chart because that looks to be like what's going on. And until that changes, I'm going to avoid it. Now, I will say, right, we could also be on the flip side, waiting for a scenario in which this thing breaks out. So like, let's say Aussie Swiss gets really strong above resistance. That would be a very clear possible break and retest trade. And in that case, you could see some excellent opportunities to go long, in my opinion. But right now, again, current expectation is we're hitting resistance. We're in a range bound market. I'm staying away from that guy. So yeah, let me know, guys, what would you like me to take a look at? And I'll try and pull up some charts for you. Pound Aussie was a request. So we'll take a quick look at GBP AUD. Let's see what's going on with Pound Aussie. 4-hour chart pulling back here, kind of broke its momentum to the upside. You can see we had support get broken here. So this thing looks short-term like it wants to sell off. You can kind of see, so again, big push to the upside. And now this morning tried to hold and looking like this candle might close bearish. This is a 4-hour chart, so you have still some time on this candle, 3 hours before that candle closes. But watch the close of this candle, because if we break under support and we close below, to me, that looks super bearish. GJ. So GJ is one I would like to look at for you. GJ, I know right now I do have a bullish bias on GBP/JPY, but it's this is a good scenario to talk about. So GJ has a +3 on the Edge Finder, so it has a buy rating. But remember, the Edge Finder is not the holy grail, as nothing is. It's just a market scanning tool that allows us to find setups based on fundamentals. But if the technicals don't agree, and I think they don't agree personally, this is a tough one for me to buy. Because what we can see here is that, yes, we had a beautiful upward trend. And during this period of time, it was probably a great opportunity to look for longs. The Edge Finder probably agreed with you there. But then it's sort of fallen apart. And what I mean by that is, from a technical perspective, we now see a technical or a chartist's worst nightmare. You see lower lows, lower highs, etc. Right? So you're starting to see this thing trend to the downside. For me, this is a good scenario where we can talk about Edge Finder strategy. And if you watch my live streams every day, which I know a lot of you guys do, and I really appreciate that, you'll know that we tend to talk about the same style of setups every single day. We talk about the fundamentals and we talk about the technicals. And when I say technicals, I just use really simple technical analysis. I don't get fancy. I don't need to. I've traded profitably for years using what many would consider simple supply and demand or support and resistance or retail strategies. By the way, just a little heads up, if you trade on a retail broker, you are a retail trader and you trade with retail strategies. Retail strategies can be anything from liquidity grabs to support and resistance. They're all retail strategies because you don't get to be an institutional trader just by calling yourself one, right? And anyways, so what I want to talk about here with this concept, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, the edge finder right now is pointing towards bullishness on GBP JPY. And the technicals for me, though, are printing bearish. And when I say technicals, again, very simple, lower highs and lower lows. Not getting complicated, just seeing this thing trend to the downside, right? So if this thing is trending to the downside, that gives me a technical bearish bias, okay? But then the fundamentals are bullish. So what do I do here? What do I trade? Absolutely nothing. There's nothing for me to do here. I need these things to agree. And until one of these flips and they both agree, I won't be placing any trades. So what this does is it allows me to avoid a lot of noisy trades or trades that just aren't suited to my strategy by completely opting out of a scenario like this. Now, let me show you something in which case I could see actually getting long on GJ. So what would I need to do to get long? Well, the technicals need to flip bullish, okay? Currently, they're bearish. Well, what would that look like? Again, very simple concepts. Need to start seeing higher lows, higher highs, breakouts, retests. Once we start to see that pattern emerge, and this goes to this, a bullish technical bias matching the bullish fundamental bias, then I'm clear to start taking trades. Does that make sense? Type yes in the chat if that strategy makes sense to you. Again, we want fundamentals and technicals to agree in order to take a trade. And when I go back to my Euro NZD trade, you'll see that this is exactly the case. This is why I believe we caught a really nice trade here. The fundamentals and the technicals agree. And I'm going to show you in just a second how the fundamentals, we scout the fundamentals. It's what we use the edge finder for. So technicals here, super bearish. Fundamentals also bearish. That's why I picked up a trade on the short side, right? We're combining both the technicals and the fundamentals. I personally don't like to ignore either one. I like to use both. So fundamentals or technicals look really good to the downside. You have this nice downward structure and we tagged resistance in a downward trend. Everything I needed to go short on this market from a technical perspective. But then on top of that, we go here. By the way, I just added this yesterday. If we go to strong sells or sells, you can now filter this thing to only show you biased currency pairs or commodities or indices. So I thought that might be helpful to some other traders who use this on a regular basis. So what you'll notice is that we get a -7 on Euro NZD. And this is our watch list. This generates a watch list for us every single day. The Edge Finder, people who use the Edge Finder, you just go to score chart summary, and every day it prints out our strongest buys, strongest sells, and why those biases are there. So if we now take a look at Euro NZD, right? And we go over here and we take a look on the far right hand of the screen, what you're going to see is that this is your fundamentals category. You have the big four is what I like to think of them. You have GDP growth, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates. These factors are what drive currency pairs. They are the underlying reasoning behind why the major component to why Euro strengthens or weakens and New Zealand dollar strengthens or weakens, right? It's very, very important stuff. And when we look at Euro NZD in all four of the major categories, we favor the New Zealand dollar over the euro. And if you want to drill down further, we can do that. We just go into the actual currency pair here off the left-hand side of the screen. So we go to Euro, New Zealand dollar. And we go over to fundamentals here. I'm not sure why we're having a chart issue today. I'm sure that's getting worked on or fixed, but we'll have it for you soon. By the way, the Edge Finder is constantly, we have a developer who is working all the time to fix this thing, to improve this thing, to add new features, etc. But anyways, if we look at fundamentals, we can get the picture here. So if we look at the euro versus the New Zealand dollar, remember, we are comparing these two currencies, and that's where we're going to start placing trades. So when we look at GDP growth in New Zealand is 1.7%. That's better for New Zealand, and that makes the New Zealand dollar the favorite in this comparison. When we look at inflation, inflation is high in Europe, 10.6. It's also high in New Zealand, but not as high, at only 7.2% compared to the 10.6. That makes New Zealand dollar more attractive. If we take a look at unemployment, unemployment is high in Europe, 6.6, with New Zealand only at 3.3. That's more attractive, okay? And then finally, interest rates. Much higher interest rate in New Zealand, which is attractive for the currency, 4.25%. We're comparing these metrics, you guys, and then we go take trades based on that. And so right now what we see is in all four categories, New Zealand dollar is the favorite. And so we get a sell bias on this pair. This is how the Edge Finder works. And if you come back to the streams every day, you'll be able to watch and learn how the tool works, get training on it. And again, we have over 1,000 people already using the software, people trained with it and trading it with it every single day. If you want access to the Edge Finder, you can try it out for free right here. And also, I just want to say, what is today? November 29th. You have today and tomorrow is the last chance to get access to the Edge Finder for our Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 40% off sale. If you want access to the Edge Finder and you've been watching the streams for a while and you're like, okay, let me just go ahead and get it, do not wait any longer. I'm telling you, because this is the best sale price that you're going to get all year long, 40% off. And I know, yes, I'm whipping out the sales, Nick, but I'm just telling you, we have a lot of people who really want the tool and a lot of people, miss the sale. So don't miss the sale. If you want access to it, if you're watching the channel, it is worth the money. We work very, very hard to build this tool, and it has been catastrophically, that's the wrong word. It's been significantly helpful in my own trading. It saves me tremendous amounts of time, and it's been a really successful product for a lot of traders. So again, get access, take advantage of it, and there you go. How much is it? It is, what's the discount? 40% off. It's like, I can't give you an exact number. Just go plug it in. If you plug in that code at checkout, it'll give you the right amount. I think it's somewhere between $450 and $500, but it's a one-time thing. You don't have to pay monthly. You don't have to do anything. And if you're hesitant about it, again, try it out for free. Click that link, sign up for a free trial, but just don't miss the end of the sale. Yes, it is a shameless plug. I mean, here's the thing, right? And we'll talk about some more pairs here. I don't want to just talk about the Edge Finder forever, but I will say this, right? The Edge Finder, I have no problem touting it, selling it as much as possible, because it is something I truly, genuinely stand behind and believe. I put up track records with my trading behind it. It's the real deal, and we've worked really hard to put out a product that people have loved so far with it so much. Let's see, what are we doing next? Gold. So gold, I've been mentioning this recently. We're just stuck in this range. We can't get outside of this area here, 1735, and at the top 1780. So until that breaks, for my gold trading friends, I'm just waiting for that to make a decision. I don't have a strong bias. The Edge Finder doesn't give us much of one on gold right now. It is currently just neutral. You can see gold right. Oh, gold's got some issues right now. Something's broken. Gold is not working for some reason. We'll have to check that. Like I said, still in development. We've got people working on it all the time. So there are times when the Edge Finder just has errors or things missing, and we always have to go fix them. So, but trust me, you've got people behind it, so it will be fixed soon. Yes, also, good point. We also have a sponsor that helps us out here on the stream. If you want access to the Edge Finder, another solution would be, if you're looking for a new broker, check out the broker 8cap. It's linked down below in the description. They're sponsoring our content, and it's a way to get the Edge Finder for free. If you deposit 500 or more and chat with their support, you can get access to the Edge Finder for free. All right, let's look at something else. What about the S&P 500? What's our stocks doing? Okay this morning? They're not doing great here on the hourly chart, trying to break through the lows. This would be an interesting thing to watch for if you're short biased on it. And we'll have to watch to see if this thing can break and close underneath. You got 5 minutes left on this hourly bar. It does look like it is likely to close bearish. So for my indices traders, SPX 500 looking a little sketchy here on the hourly chart. Could be an interesting one for breaks and retests if you are bearish. Personally, I'm not really bearish on it. I've been trying to get long on S&P 500, but my US 30 trade did end up closing. For those of you guys who are who have been keeping up with it, we are all out of US 30. We took profits on that yesterday. After this thing started to break through support, ended up closing out of my US 30 position. So that's good. How about the VIP? Yeah, you can get access to VIP also with the discount sale right now. All of the information is linked in the description if you want access. And if you want to try stuff out, if you want to ask questions, you can always contact us at a1trading.com/contact. What else? How's that Euro NZD trade doing? It seems to be doing just fine here this morning, giving back a little bit of that profit. What's GBP USD doing? Pound dollar. 4-hour chart sitting near support here. Buyers on the pound need to hold this area. If that thing breaks, I would say you might see a slip to the downside. You might head back down to a deeper zone. I mean, you could see price retest here, right? If this thing were to break, what news do we have news here coming up today? Let's see. CPI for Europe, unemployment for Europe. That's tomorrow. Yep. Very, very interesting. Real quick, guys, I want to take some questions, see if I can do so really quick for just a few minutes here. Did we get any questions? Let's go check. Yes, we did. Okay, we got some questions. Here we go. Question from Chandler says, if I'm just starting my trading journey, how long on average should I be sitting in my trades? It's a good question because it's a loaded question, because sometimes people will think that as a trader, they need to be like a day trader that's in and out of trades every 30 seconds, right? In my personal experience, things got a lot easier when I stopped trying to day trade and scalp and spent more time on the swing trade side of things. I love trading like the 1-hour chart, the 4-hour chart, and sometimes even the daily chart, because it gives me a lot slower of a pace. I have a busy schedule, as I know many people also do. It's nice for my schedule to not have to sit and stare at the chart for 6 hours a day. I actually only trade for about an hour a day. Now, backtesting wise, when I was new to trading, I spent many hours a day learning, testing concepts, etc. But now in my day-to-day execution, 1 hour or less. And a lot of that is just here on the stream with you guys. Okay, next question is, Undi84 says, do you use separate computers for your trading? Example 1, strictly for trading and 1 for news, email, YouTube. And if you use one, what antivirus software do you use to protect it? So I have some anti-malware stuff. I'm not actually sure. I need to go look at that to give you a solid answer on it. It's been a while since I've paid attention to that stuff. But I will say this, in terms of how many computers do I use, it's actually, I just use 2 screens. I don't need much more than that. I have my charts on one and oftentimes the edge finder on the other, which gives me pretty much everything I need to place trades. And, actually, I guess a lot of times I use the edge finder and my chart on the same screen. Like I've got here, like I can just flip back and forth between them. And that's been awesome for that. And then on the other side, a lot of times I have like my camera going or something because I record my trades live a lot of times. Enoch asks, when is the best time to trade? I don't think that there's like a best time, because it's going to depend on your schedule. If you're in Europe, you're going to have a different schedule than me. Before I was, running my business and trading during the New York session and stuff, I had a software job, and it meant I could only trade in the evening after I got done with work, which would put me at the Asian session, 7, 8 p.m. US Eastern time. And so I made that work for me. So I don't think, like, if you can't trade a certain session, it's not all over for you. You can find profitable opportunities in any time session. Okay, Tilak says, taking 0.45 risk per trade, 0.45% risk per trade due to absolute drawdown of 5% in the prop firm. Is it okay, or shall I increase or decrease? It's going to just depend on your strategy. If you're somebody who's taking like 1 trade a day and you're trying to meet the prop firm's requirements, that's going to be tricky, but it's only something you can really answer through your own backtesting and numbers, right? Like I know for me, I can risk anywhere from 0.5% up to like 2, maybe even 2.5% on a trade sometimes. Just depends on what I'm doing, how long. Is it a swing trade, a longer term swing trade? I've taken examples like longer term swing trades where I risked 2.5, 3% on an S&P long, and that one runs for a while and it ends up being a really profitable trade, or at the worst case, I lose 2.5%. Point is, it's going to be in your numbers where you find the answer to that. I couldn't give you a number on how much you should risk per trade because it depends on your risk tolerances, depends on how frequent your trades are, etc. Sadiq says, are December and January a good time for trading? I trade every year during December and during January. I'm not a big fan of thinking, and this is just for me, like you might be different, but for me, trading December and trading January are just like any other month. If the trade is there, if technicals and fundamentals agree, and I can properly manage my risk, I'll take that trade, even if it's the week after Christmas. Yes, liquidity might be lower and spreads might be wider. I won't trade like right around Christmas because spreads get pretty choppy, but I'll still take trades if a setup arrives during that time. A lot of times you hear people say like, don't trade Fridays, don't trade Mondays, don't trade December, don't trade, Wednesdays. People will come up with all sort of different things. My opinion is trade when you have a setup that meets your criteria, and that's the end of the story. All right. Corpus MG says, do you know of any studies that have documented statistical probabilities of an outcome based upon various chart patterns? So yes, and no. If you're looking for like a statistically profitable trading strategy, just an easy rule, entry, exit style, there are some that exist. For example, I know one that is off of the daily chart using a simple RSI of the S&P 500. When it reaches a below 30, I'm quoting this off the top of my head, but I remember reading an in-depth detailed study on this. Under 30, stop loss at a certain distance, take profit at a certain distance. It was a very statistically profitable trading strategy for many, many years, and still is to this day. But trading strategies come and they go. They ebb and they flow. Like if you have a very mechanical trading strategy, it's going to work amazingly during certain times and not so good in other times. So just know that, there's nothing that's just an easy blanket technical strategy that's just going to make you rich. And it's just like the perfect system all the time. And that's why, trading is not easy. If it was something where like you just had a simple rule set and you just made money easily, it would be something everybody does. But trading profitably requires adaptation to current market environments. For me, fundamentals are not something that you can easily backtest, although you can look at statistical examples. Like for example, when the Federal Reserve first starts rate hiking, what does the dollar tend to do? When they first start a rate cut, what does the dollar tend to do? What does gold tend to do? What does the S&P 500 tend to do? You can take those probabilities and apply them to your trading. I use a lot of fundamentals, not pure price action in my trading. I do like price action and I use that to place trades and entries and exits, but I also combine the fundamentals because I find that to be very, very helpful in building an edge. Okay, let's see. BD Anderson says, how long should you really hold a trade? If you're asking my opinion on this, my opinion on a manual trade, a trade that I've taken based off of, like fundamentals and technicals, like my Euro NZD trade, right? If you're asking how long should I hold this trade, my genuine answer, although it sounds cheeky, is as long as I possibly can, because I don't know how far this Euro NZD trade is going to go. Let's just daydream for a second together here. And let's say like things just absolutely fall apart for the Euro NZD and I'm still in this trade. You'll notice I don't have a take profit order on my trade. And not a lot of traders like to trade this, but this is my opinion. I like to hold on to that trade as long as I possibly can until market structure breaks the other direction. So as long as this thing is sliding lower and showing bearish price action, I'll hold on to the trade and I'll trail my stop loss behind it until the market reverses. So my genuine answer is as long as I possibly can, and I'll get out of there when the market tells me to do so. We're going to take some live trades today. I only have my live trade from yesterday open. I didn't see anything today that was really shooting out to me, but I took this yesterday on camera. So we do take trades live on the stream often. And of course, I update them inside of the Discord channel. So we updated that one today, and currently looking pretty good on Euro NZD. Unfortunately, we don't have another guest today, but I appreciate some of you guys' questions inside of the VIP group. You guys asked some great ones, and I hope that that was helpful to your to what you wanted to know. We'll do some more Q&As in the future. I like doing them. They're fun. And I find them to be helpful, both for me to reiterate my thoughts, but also hopefully helpful to people who are, trying to become profitable. With that said, guys, that's going to wrap up the stream. If you enjoyed today's content, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, and we'll be back with more live stream content tomorrow. Thank you for being here, and have a great night, everybody. See ya.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember to check the description below if you're looking for a new broker or looking for a trading community to join. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.